Mary. For those who don't know me, I'm the founder, together with of Data Networks Learning LLC, together with Dan. Dan, you can wave if you can hear me. And so Data Networks Learning was pretty much born in the year 2021. And it was born in a state called Arizona State. And the reason why SAMRAC Data Networks Learning was born, it's typically just to expose our people. Because sometimes us as immigrants, we tend to lean on one side of, career, right? So we formed Data Networks Learning to expose people in the sector of IT, data science, which is right now doing super well. Like the industry is hungry for data science skills, be it data analytics, be it machine learning, be it artificial intelligence, be it data engineering. So that is what we are training people on. We are a tech bootcamp, right? Can you hear me? I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you
Can hear me,
perfectly
yeah.
well.
Yeah, so what makes our tech bootcamp, or rather Data Networks Learning, to stand out? It's because we give people roadmap, not just to train you people, but also to give you a roadmap or a path to take after training. So what we do, we partner with very big corporates globally, corporates like Safaricom in Africa, corporates like Azul, Microsoft Azul, right? Institutions like Miami-Dade College, so that when people finish up training with us, they can get into the corporate very well to get that kind of corporate exposure, or rather practical, technical skills for them to be marketable in the market, right? So that is how we do it. And most of our courses, actually all our courses takes a period of 4 months to accomplish. And we have very, very knowledgeable instructors who are training these people. So tonight, at least we are lucky to have one of our instructor for data science. He's called Dr. James Hezron. And Dr. James Hezron is the one who will facilitate tonight's session of data science. And he has a very beautiful story on how he transitioned from medicine to data science, to show us that we are not limited in any field that we are. Even if you're in healthcare or finance, name it, hospitality, you can transition very well into data science. So Hezron, allow me to introduce you to our people and kindly carry on with the session.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam and Mary. Thank you so much. I don't know if I'm able to share my screen.
Yeah, I think good.
The host is disabled. Just enable me.
Okay. So feel free to answer any kind of question. You can write a chat. You can get in touch with us. Share with us your contacts, tafadhali. Let this be a very engaging session. We are ready to answer all those questions that you might be having tonight.
Right. I don't think you have. Have you enabled?
Maybe you can
Come again?
Sorry? Oh yeah, maybe try to make the host see if I can.
Can you make him the host?
Give me 1 minute.
Sam, yeah, now Sam is the host now. Okay.
Yeah, you're the host. Yeah, you're the host. Go ahead, Doc.
All right. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to speak with all of us about data. And I'm very passionate about data, actually. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask someone here. I see Lingerie. What is data? Just unmute. Or Sam, what is data?
metrics.
Okay, good. Yes. Everywhere we go, we leave data, we leave pieces of data. Even right now, as we logged in, we had to put data in so that we know our names, our email addresses, to be able to log in Zoom. So as the world is growing, there's a lot of data that we input into this world. And we have to find a way of making sense out of this chaotic data. For you to make a decision, even in your house, you can see one chart here, okay? Collection of facts such as numbers, measures. This is good. This is absolutely wonderful. Let's push this aside. Okay. So as I was saying, even in our household, we have to make decision using facts, using data. You have to look at things, have data to refer to before you make decisions. And so that is what data is. So today's topic that we are going to look at is unlocking the power of data science, data analytics, AI, and machine learning for future-ready skills. We have a lot of data that is coming in. And we need to make sense of this data. We need to make sense for this data. So what I like to think about is think of a hospital is still a business. They need to make sense with their data. So we are going to dive deep and see from the smallest act of picking clients' data up to the CEO level of making decisions. How does that data entry, when you go to the hospital, you pass them your card, whether it's an insurance card, you pass them their card, how would that, and then they type in your name, your name, type of illness, age, and all that. And how would that information make sense to a business? So this is what data analysis, and also we look into now the future-ready skills, which is AI and machine learning. So, just like I said, in data, we have data science and data analytics. So these are just concepts or ways of how you can pull your data in together. So remember, I believe most of us are working from with hospitals rather. So how can we pull data from the first client, the outpatient client, all the way to the inpatient client, and we know what sort of illnesses are we able to sort in this hospital? What do we need to transfer? Who do we need to hire? Maybe we getting cases of heart-related diseases. We need a specialist in heart-related diseases in this location. That information has to be made through data. And this is where we, as data analysis or data science, I'll say students come in. We learn the entire process of from inputting data, how can we manipulate this data and organize it, clean the data to make an understandable or desired outcome. So something just, so today I like to have like a preview in mind on everything that we're gonna talk about, so that you might just know like how long it would take, and you can have a strategic mind and knowing which areas would be of interest to you. So we'll do an introduction. After the introduction, I'll let you know, or rather, I've already done the introduction rather. So I'll talk about who is Dr. James Hezron and how did I find myself in data analysis. And after that, we're gonna talk about healthcare data analysis, the growing importance of data in healthcare. So we're going to talk about all the possible ways. You know, this is a very new and liquidative position. And lots of companies are now looking for someone who has insight or skills to make sense of their from their data. Now, again, we look at the data analysis and machine learning concepts. What are the concepts that we need to have in hand so that we can be able to tackle this problem of data science and make sense from this data, to make sense from our data. Again, I'll also highlight, I will just highlight the roadmap from data engineering all the way. So what is data engineering all the way to AI and machine learning. So we normally abbreviate machine learning as ML. And also nowadays, you can see the Gen Zs are actually coming up a lot. And just because I'm sure most of us have seen a lot of, you're in social media, you're able to see what's going around the world. We're able to see even guys organizing riots just from their phones. They don't need to be there physically. They just need to sit down and collect themselves and have meetings the way we're having right now and strategize. It's not like all those old days where we need to have a place to sit and do your meetings, pay a hall. Nowadays, everything is digital. So how do you help your kid? If you have a kid, how do you help your kid to cope up with all this innovation? So we're going to talk about the importance of early learning, for kids coding. Why would you want your kid to learn to code? Remember, nowadays, as time goes, coding will be more like just the way we speak English. So more employers would want someone who knows how to code, even if you're in a market position. Nowadays, surprisingly, even when you're a marketer, you need to know a little bit of data analysis. You need to know how to handle basic stuff, maybe like a spreadsheet. You need to know how to handle that. And you're a marketer. So having to build these skills on kids, it will enable us to, it will enable them to be future ready. And when we read there, we're gonna expound on the possibilities and the importance of just making them understand, or rather give them exposure to data, or rather to coding and coding practices. So there's this famous person who normally says, without data, you are just another person with an opinion. So we know you need to have the facts right. Even in your household, you need to know, like, hey, all right, I need to know what how much I'm spending so that you can readjust yourself. You cannot just guess like, oh, I might spend this amount today. That you at the end of the month, you might have a shortfalling in your finance. So you just need to have data so that you can make informed decision. And it's so surprising on how we make informed decision, even from our bank accounts. You go and check how much you have before you buy something. That you're making an insight from your financial status. Then you can determine, is this a priority in my life or not? Do I need to buy a cloth or shoes? Are those priorities in my life? No. Maybe I need to just pay rent. Those are information you can get from, you see, just from the basic practices. All of us, in some sort of way, practice data analysis. So you look at what you have and make decisions from that. Just a little bit about me. This is me, and I have a bachelor's degree in molecular medicine and bioinformatics, and that is also supported in master's in data analysis. I have a few certifications. So these are just the two that are prominent here, which is data analysis and clinical research. I have another one for project management. And also I have 5 years experience in IT, specialized in medical database reporting and multiple languages. So in multiple languages, we talk about Python, SQL, and R also. So we are going to show you the possibilities of what this can unlock. So just to give you a little bit of feedback on how I got myself in data analysis. When I finished school, so I graduated and I had my bachelor's degree in molecular medicine and bioinformatics. So you might ask, well, so what did you actually do? So I was posted in a certain NGO that deals with works in tandem with CDC and deals with clients who we call them MDRT, like clients who actually are suffering from HIV, and now their genetics has refused to work on any medication. You know, sometimes you misuse medication. All of us are doctors, so I know we know this thing, or rather, I'll just expound it. Sometimes when you're sick, whether it's a bacterial, fungal, or any other type of illness, we normally recommend you to be steady on your drugs. So what happens if you're not steady with taking your drugs? There's a possibility that the virus or the bacteria can mutate to a different class. So if that happens, what happens is you cannot be able now to use the same medication to treat it. So the NGO was just was ensuring like we collect all the guys, all the babies in the hospitals who were left behind and they were infected. So, and it was like, it had a facet of also like a home kinda. So it's like a medical camp. So, but we take care of all these kids throughout the session and any other patient that comes in. So it's a full-fledged hospital. So one of the cases that we dealt with most of the time would be when kids grow up, you know, sometimes you have to take medications a lot, and you might just reach that age of being rebellious. Maybe they encompass, they're like, man, why would I want to actually read? And at the end of the day, I know like I'll not be here for that long. So that is the kind of level sometimes they would reach. We had psychiatrists who would help with that. But again, some of them would stop taking their medication. So some of them would stop and they will not tell you they have stopped taking medication. So occasionally we would run, actually no, occasionally, monthly we would run like their blood work, look at how the virus looks like. So you would know someone is not taking their medication when their HIV's copy is more than 10,000. So imagine in 1 ml, just imagine 1 ml. You know how tiny 1 ml is? 1 ml is very tiny, it's a drop. And if that individual in that 1 ml has more than 10,000 copies, so this 1 ml has more than 10,000 copies. So clearly, that would work like a indicator for us that 1, this person is not taking medication, or 2, this person is taking medication, but it is not working for them. So we'd have that sort of complication or issues. So our work was to take their blood work, do a genetic sampling, mapping for the virus, and see which part is more resistant to the drug, and see which drug has the highest efficacy. So which combination of drugs can we use for this individual? And then we would give a report to, because we were working together with CDC. Remember, these cases are now severe. So if you reach in that case, now you need a special attention. So in CDC, we're working together with them. So we have to monitor these individuals closely, because you would imagine if this individual go out there and infect other people, those people would start from that level of resistance. And that is something that is we call it hazardous. So it is not something that we'd want to experience in a population. So would like to contain such strains of diseases through that. So by nature, so you can see you're analyzing the virus and see how that virus looks like, and what are the modes that the virus has picked. Maybe it has picked one gene by deletion. What are the options that we have here? And also see the possible medication. So I worked there for a few years, and yeah, those are the cases we were dealing with, and it was not pegged on just the community. Let me say, it was not just pegged to the small community. The clinic was open and is still open with to all communities. So up to right now, I think they're still dealing with all patients. So sometimes doctors will just send you maybe you will not even know. Doctors will just send you, oh yeah, just go to this facility, give them this, ask for this test, and that's it. So the test will take like a month. So you would come, you don't know. So is our work to figure out what's not happening and what's happening for you and how can we help you, and take that information, report it to CDC together with the government, and also advise your clinician who you'd go and see, like, hey, you know what, this individual, don't give him these drugs, give him this combination of drugs. So you see, we have to use some sort of analysis even in medicine. So after that, I also got an opportunity to work I'm just highlighting some of the small achievements. I also got an opportunity to work in a research farm. Call it okay, I'll not just we call it Massive Genomics. We got the opportunity to do that. And what does that do? So this one also had the potentiality to actually still running. So it was dealing with cancer patients. So these patients, we have guys who are coming from a line of your family heritage, like there's some sort of illness that is more prominent in your family. So you'd want to check what is your risk exposure or risk factor. So if you're coming from a family that is hypertensive, you might just come here or come to the farm, and they'll be able to look at you in depth. That means like your blood work and everything, and also advise you on what nutrition foods you need to eat. So it's more personalized. So you see, this is the trend that medicine is taking. It's taking a more personalized approach, because I'll be honest, some here would take antibiotics and maybe don't get drowsy, but someone else will take the same antibiotics and feel very drowsy and even vomit. So people react differently in medication. So that is just a few of the items that I did. And then after that, I was able to get now into a whole new world. And this was in an insurance firm. Okay, I'll be frank, I went there for the money though, but it was very interesting to see the transition, because they wanted someone with the experience in medical who would understand all the diagnoses that are there and what are the symptoms and everything. And also they were looking for someone who can make sense out of the data. So at the first time I got the job, it was more of like, those periods where you're given a few months to prove your worth, and then they'll see if they will retain you or not. So as I was working, I got the opportunity to see some of the, you're coming from an analytical mindset. So you might not even know, like you're actually seeing things through a data analysis view. So I was having this, I was looking at my work, and then I was like, why is this hospital charging items like hemogram at maybe $30, and then the other hospital is charging at $50? Why is it like, or rather, why is it the same hospital charging the same item differently? So it's some of the hospitals were doing malpractices. So they would charge you the way you look. So if you come really fancy, the price is high. But if you come like a normal guy, the price is low. So this was a very interesting thing that I picked up. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to utilize this. I'm gonna try to. Okay, I'm gonna try to utilize this. So these are the options. So I was able to come up with a system that will able to identify such frauds. So today we're going just to jump into some of these healthcare data analysis that we're going to look at today. So
Excuse Doc,
yes.
are you sharing anything?
Yeah, you're not seeing?
No, the
Oh.
screen is, yeah,
Let me just stop and then share again.
kindly.
Sorry.
No,
I
you're
think it
good.
stopped share. Okay. Okay. Is it better?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good. So, want to, okay. So, all right. Healthcare data analysis. So what is healthcare data analysis? We're going to look at what is healthcare data analysis. What are the key applications of data analysis in healthcare? So if you go through this bootcamp, what are the applications that you're going to use? What are the case studies? And why would you, in a medical profession, want to do data analysis? What are the job opportunities in healthcare data analysis, and how can we get started with healthcare data analysis? So I'll just be a little bit quicker, but feel free to stop me at any point. So data healthcare analysis is just the process of you taking the data information. You see, when you come into the patient, you come into the hospital, whether it's a hospital, it's a home, it's any sort of facility, you'd want to put information in. So after you put this information in, it's going to be dumped in a database. And how can you make sense and predict and use statistical methods to improve the business? So this is where you're coming in. Now you'll be a player for business. You'll be in the player or in the rather category of creating or rather improving the business. How do you improve the business and the patient outcome? So when you learn data analysis and machine learning, you'll be not just a medic, but also you'll be playing in this other side of medical business. So we have the medical clinical aspect where you go see the doctor and the doctor will treat you. That's the clinical aspect only. But the business aspect is we have the owners of the company. We have people who call the shots. We have people who will be like, we need new policies in this hospital. We need to open a new hospital somewhere else. So this is the business perspective. So you'll be able to shift if you are also looking to shift career from from clinical medical to business medical. This is also a very good tool that you can use. So what are the options that we have? So what are the options that we'll have as a medical data analysis? So what are the job options that we have? First of all, I'll start with maybe what I'm doing currently. I'm in healthcare insurance, and I'm there as a medical data analyst. And here, what we do is to help mitigate risk. So just imagine, how can we help adjust? We help in risk adjustment. We use machine learning to predict medical spendage using chronicle patient illness burden. So for example, let's say you as a new student, or rather you as a new insured individual, you want to get insured with certain company. They would want to see, hey, do you have any chronic illness? They have to send you to some hospital so that they check, are you a risk, or with you we can have a good business relationship. So sometimes if you have chronic burden, that might also translate to high premiums. So that's also how they use data analysis to make sense from that perspective. Also to able to pick out fraudulent claims, also to categorize hospital. We also use machine learning to categorize hospital. We know which hospital is on which level, which hospital offers the same level of quality at a lower price, because we are into also saving cost. which hospital is it that gonna offer? Is it gonna offer good price for us with the same quality? So you will be the one that will be advising this. You'll be in those board meetings. You'll be the one advising the CEOs on what trajectory to take. So you will be solely given that shoulder as an analyst. So you can be a business analyst. Still, it's the same bracket. So at the end of this, we'll see there are so many names that are coming up for data analysis. So you'll be the one giving the CEOs a way forward. So your work is to find where are we becoming sick and how can we improve those areas in a business perspective. In healthcare, clinical informatics. So this is just like in the hospital. This is just like in the hospital. So we have, you can work so many places, and mark you, having a background of healthcare is it will also set you it will set you apart. For example, in a pharmaceutical company, you as a nurse, you have a background in nursing. You're well versed with nursing. And this pharmaceutical company is offering new strips for diabetes. So your work as a data analyst would be to check, maybe, I'm just giving like an idea. Your work here would be to check if these strips are making sense to the public, or do we need to adjust? Are there severe conditions, or are there severe reactions, or is they actually making also a business perspective? Is it value for our money? Is it something that we need to invest on? So you having a clinical perspective, will be able to understand all the medical jargon, and also you can also break down and see like, okay, this patient also has some other function, other type 2 diabetes and such not. I'm just giving an highlight for that. So we also have public health analyst. So public health analyst, those that would work with CDC or statistics, I think it's Statistics Canada. Also, you'd become a public health analyst. This is where you'd look at, for example, COVID data. You need to see if which vaccine had what kind of effects. How did you come and learn, oh, this vaccine had this kind of effect? Through data analysis. So, and those would make those who advise the government, or rather the public in general, on what to do and create new policies, would fall under the category of public health analysts. So having a base understanding of healthcare would be something that is preferred. So we also have those guys who are working in working in how do you call this, medical suppliers. So for example, you would also work in medical suppliers. So opportunities are so many. I'm just trying to highlight some of the opportunities. You'd work in a medical supplier. For example, we have people who would supply either specific kits for medication. You'd want to see where our sales going so far. Do we need to have a new branch there? Do we need to increase volume? Do we need to hire new employees? You see, you are in the center of decision making. So if you do like making decisions and you want to be in the center of decision making, then this is the right platform for you. So those are just a few of the areas that you'd want to look at. So also, I think I would also like to talk about the benefits of also having coding for kids. So if you have a kid, why would you want to involve a kid into oh, I think let me see, there's something that is not happening here. Okay, all right. It's okay. I think there's 1-2 slides that are not there, so it's okay. I'll just go through them. So let's just jump on the benefits of robotic. Yes.
No,
Sorry?
no, Daddy. You see, leave my cards alone, Daddy.
I think someone has not muted or something, Doc.
Okay. Okay. I'll just continue. Oh,
Thank you. Mhm.
so I'll just jump to this, and then I think there are 2 slides that are missing, but it's okay. We'll still go through that. So what are the benefits for you if you have a kid? What are the benefits that you'd want to involve the kid into a boot camp where we teach them coding? So remember, as a data analyst, you are going to have to break things into their smallest granular information so that you can make sense. So sometimes when you have a large problem to solve, you start by breaking it slowly. So we help kids to develop their critical thinking and problem solving. And remember, this is also something that it will make them future ready, and also be not just in coding classes, but also it will help them in class. How would they be reasoning? How would they be if you guys have friends who are doing coding, you might see how they are very logical sometimes when they are reasoning. So they have to break things into small bits so that they can put them together again to see how they will best solve a problem. So that is one of the benefits that you'd get when you actually introduce your kid to coding classes as early as possible. And remember, it's easier to mold a kid when they're young rather than when they're old. When they're young, it will be easy, it will be fascinating. We kind of try to use very, very kid-friendly language, very kid-friendly, something that entertains them, so that they can see the logic, and also give them a little bit of practice, see how that's done. And also, this will also enable them to get future, to be prepared for hands-on careers in future. So imagine if your kid is able to do coding, like the way even Chinese are doing. Their kids at the early stages are able to do coding and all that. So if they learn all this coding, by the time they're in their teenagerhood, they'll be able to comprehend any form of new trend that is coming in. So this is a very good opportunity for those who have kids to join in. I'll actually totally recommend this. This is like a reading class. It's a must-have. So if you have a kid, this is like, the way you'd have to know how to read. Nowadays, as we're going to the future, this is a must-have. So it will be more of like a basic thing. You need to know some coding skills. So the earlier you introduce them, the better for us, and rather better for all of us. And also, it will also help you be more creative. Sometimes someone would tell you something, maybe in a coding perspective, you have a problem in your company, you'd want some software to be built. You would have to, you yourself, these are the architecture. You will describe what you want, have an imagination of what you want, and then they will go and design exactly what you want. So imagine there's someone who designed even the AI that we're using right now for ChatGPT and all that, and it's helping. So there are people who have to sit down and see the logic behind and try to create all this. So once you introduce your kids to this bootcamp, you are making this kid future ready. You're making this kid very creative, can be able to solve some of the worldly problems and even his own personal problems. He can try to think of what he can start even making money at a young age. So this is I will highly recommend this if you have a kid to also join as a bootcamp. Just give it a shot, try it, and you will actually come back and give us a feedback on how that would impact your kids even in academics. So there's I think 1 or 2 slides here. Maybe I felt like they were not here. Let me see. And so, okay. So first of all, I'd like to talk about data engineering and roadmap. And what is data engineering? What is the roadmap? And How do you become a data engineer? And what is that? It's a very fancy word. So, but what does that actually entail? So think of yourself as a shop. So you do have a shop where you sell your phones. Maybe let's use a prominent example that we know. We have iPhone store, which they are all over the world. They have stores all over the world, and they sell their shops. Sorry, they sell their items there. So when you purchase this phone from Apple Store, they will obviously take your details down, your bank details, and have a record like, hey, you know what? Sam actually purchased a phone. So what happens? Imagine having 5 million people purchasing phones all over the world. You need to make sense as a business individual. Where are we making a lot of sales and where are we not making a lot of sales, so that we can ramp up where we need to put more effort. So as a data engineering here, what you're going to learn is all the systems that we are using to bring all this data in. So remember, you're having sales in the shops, physical shops. We have people who are purchasing online. We have people who are actually purchasing by third party, maybe carrier. We have so many outlets of purchasing the same phone. But how do all this data come in and form one data that you can make sense, or we can give a data analyst or data science student to make sense out of it? So the data engineering is the aspect of creating all these relationships. So your work will be enabling to see this data, see the structures, how they're coming in. Are they coming in what format? Bring them into one, we call it a data lake, and try to organize it to a way that it can make sense, and we can also use it for machine learning. So machine learning can also, this is a very interesting aspect, and we also teach this because as a business individual, I told you this, it will open your mind up. So as a business individual, you have to learn a little bit also, how do you predict in the 5 years? Am I going to get profit? Am I going to be making losses and all that? So what do you do? We have machine learning. I'm trying to make it very simple. We have machine learning techniques that will enable you to see and predict if the same trajectory you're having can be more profitable to you or can be detrimental in the future, and what are the possible outcomes that you might have. So all this is going to be learned through ML, machine learning. Just the way in my case here, what I do is I evaluate an insurance risk every time. So every time someone is diagnosed with a chronic illness, my machine learning will pick up that and able to say, okay, based on this new information that we have, the expected profit will maybe reduce to this or increase to this based on the outcome that we're having. So machine learning is the future. This is where you'd also want to also pull up your sleeves and get into it. So data analysis concepts and machine learning. So what are these concepts that we're gonna learn? If you join our bootcamp, what are these concepts that we're gonna learn? Don't worry, if you have no background in computer, is still fine. We normally delegate the first month to an introductory aspect and also build you up on your computer skills. So remember, we have to polish each other. So we have to make you comfortable with the basics first. So we'll start with the normal old spreadsheet as we build up on other tools such as SQL, such as Python. We build on, and also visualization tools such as also we have so many nowadays. We have Looker Studio, but we always prefer to use Microsoft Power BI. We also teach you about that. How can you visualize your profits and all that? So these are just a few of the items that you can use as a data analyst. So I don't know if there's any question, but back to you, Mary.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Doc, for that question. I know we have a number of questions, so kindly feel free to raise up your hand or to just write something on the chat, right? Now that the Doc is here.
Mhm.
ask us any kind of question that you might be having. I have actually shared our link for registration on the chat. So kindly go ahead and use that link for our registration, doc. We have classes coming up at the end of the month. We have data engineering class, which will be starting on 31st of August. We also have data analytics and machine learning class as well that will be coming up that will be starting on August 31st as well. So please feel free to answer any question. If you're new in analytics, data science, don't have any kind of experience, don't shy away. Ask any question. If you want to transition, you can see like now, for instance, Dr. Heslon transitioned from healthcare to data science. You are not late for that. So just feel free, go on our website link. I've shared it on the chat, and we shall be able to get your contact for more information on how to register and enroll. So I think now the room is open for any kind of question. And I believe Doc has actually shared with us a very, very resourceful session. So thank you very much, Dr. Hezron, for that.
No problem. I think there's a question. How much? I think this is for you.
Come again?
I think there's a question for chat in the chat, probably for you.
So how much and for how long is the program? So I'll kindly share my number for that kind of information, but I can try to answer that. Our programs take a duration of 4 months to complete. And regarding the payment, it depends on where somebody is located. So I'll kindly drop my number on this chat for us to touch base after this session. So all our sessions takes a period of 4 months to finish up. And if you're in Kenya, we have actually partnered with some corporates, like now, for instance, Safaricom. So once you finish up taking our classes for 4 months, people are joining Safaricom, or our graduates are rather joining Safaricom for a period of 6 months for in-depth training, in-depth mentorship, to give them the right practical, technical skills to jumpstart their skills in data science very well. So I believe I've answered that question well, Doc.
All right. I see Lucy saying, does age matter for this class? I don't think really, as long as you are determined to come to class and learn, I don't think age does really matter. You just come and learn. Remember, we pick you from where you are, and we ensure like we bring you to the level where your skills are more employable, and also you can even profit from what you've learned. Because at the end of the day, you need to make profit from the skill set that you're learning. You're bringing new skills in the market.
Wow.
So age doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, yeah. And also to add on that, Doc, like you've mentioned, we also have coding and robotics classes for kids, right? So I think for us to prepare our kids for this world of programming, coding, and robotics, it's good for them to start early enough to grow up with those kind of basic foundation. You know what I mean, in data science, right? So age doesn't matter. If you have kiddos who are in elementary from year 7 all the way to high school, please bring them to us. We have programs meant for each and every age group.
Absolutely true. Ruth also is asking, do you have any hands-on training for students in states like you have in Safaricom? I think this one you mentioned, but you can go ahead, Mary.
So do you have any on-hands training for students in the States like you have for Safaricom? Yes, we train globally. So we're also training students here in the US, Ruth, if I understood your question. And our programs are purely 100% practical, right? 100% practical. So just be ready to dwell into the, a programming world. In fact, for the students who are in Kenya, and I know Dr. James will agree with me. So what we do like now, for instance, for those students who have actually graduated with bachelors in computer science. So what we do, we come in between, not to rule the university education out, but rather to supplement wherever they are being taught in Kenyan universities, to create a kind of a healthy environment between now the graduates and the market, to make our students, all our graduates, very marketable and ready to hit the ground running. So our courses, or rather our programs, are super technical to make sure that you have the right skills to get into the market and be ready to work.
All right. I don't know if there's any other question. Just keep dropping them on the chat. Also, you can also DM Mary directly if you also have like also maybe questions that you're shy of asking. That's Mary's number. So you can DM her directly if you have a question that you're a bit shy of asking. All right. If there's no other question, I'll just maybe back to you, Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If there's no other question, yeah, I'll return back to you so that we can close for us.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Dr. James, for that session. It was super resourceful. And I would like someone to speak regarding tonight's session, somebody who is not part of DNL. Kindly, anyone? Mzarendo, Karaoke, Lucy, anyone? I know you guys have questions. For those who just want to transition to data science, the field is open. Marilyn, kindly feel free to share something. I know you're very optimistic about kickstarting your data engineering journey by the end of the month. So just feel free, the field is open. Ask us questions and we'll be able to move forward together.
Someone is asking, how do we access how do we access the recording for those joined late? So I think Tony, are you okay? Yeah, I think there's also a response on the chat. Tony, someone will contact you and reach out to you based on the question.
Yeah, so I've kindly shared our link. You can kindly go ahead and register. I've also shared my number. So kindly let's connect after this for more information about data science, about our programs and how to enroll. So kindly feel free to get in touch with me. Any other question?
Oh, okay.
Any other question before we conclude? Any question before we conclude? Do you have any question, Doc, from your end that you can see?
Not really. No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anyone with a question, but still, please register so that we can also get to you, share the recording, and also give you more insight on what are the profits that you can, what are the skill set that you will harness out of this. Yeah, that is what I can add actually into.
Okay, perfect. So if we don't have any question, Dan, kindly close the session for us with a word of prayer. So Marilyn, kindly close for us with a word of prayer. Maybe Dan has logged out.
Did you say me?
Marilyn, say something, greet people, and then you can
Hi,
close the session with a word of prayer, kindly.
Hi,
Sorry,
everyone.
before we pray. Sorry, I was just trying to remember something. So my name is Veronica. I have a friend of mine who was doing something and he was trying to introduce me to something called Scrum Master. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. Scrum as in SCRUM, Scrum Masters.
Yeah, we have heard of that.
Yeah.
And this
And I
is
don't
actually,
know if you do it also. I mean, I know it's something that is highly paying if someone knows how to do it. And I know a lot of people in my circle of group have left some of their careers to go in basically do that. So I don't know if that's something that you also do. I was trying to remember the name because he was telling me for a while, but I just was not able to do it.
I think that's a very great insight also. We also offer that, and I think we might organize another session where, because that is will fall under Agile, and because that is
That's
actually
right.
under Agile.
That's the
So
one I was looking for.
yes. So we
Yes.
have an instructor for that. Maybe later we'll organize and then maybe meet your group and also tell them what we offer.
Awesome. We'll keep
right.
checking. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that question, Veronica. So I think we'll be holding a lot of sessions. This was just the beginning. And I believe it's giving people a lot of good insights regarding, exposing them to data science ecosystem. So thank you so much for that question, Veronica.
You're welcome.
Any other question from the group? Christine Nganga, I know you've done data analytics. Any recap for us tonight? Thank you for joining us.
I just joined because I thought it was Central North Eastern time. So
Oh my goodness.
I shall pay attention the next time. Yes, I would have to say, I mean, it's where the world is going. So regardless of what you're doing for a profession right now, I think it serves all of us well to understand data analytics and, as you said, the ecosystem of the whole thing. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, even for joining us. I think we'll share the recording, so feel free to drop your emails. Feel free to drop your numbers, and we'll kindly get in touch with you guys and also share this recording that was done by Dr. James. Any other question from the group? Mrs. Kehara, kindly say something. What's your take home, Mrs. Kehara? Please feel free to share with us. Mzarendo, Mary Masharia, my dear, share something with us tonight. And I think if we don't have any question, Marilyn, you can kindly give us the closing remarks and also give us a word of prayer.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing good. Thank you, Dr. Hezron James, for this wonderful session. I hope everyone is able to find some value, and we'll register for the class that starts on August 31st. That is the data engineering course. Data is the new oil. So let's say, for lack of a better term, grab the bull by the horns and come make this money. And with that, I will close with a word of prayer. Our dear Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for this wonderful session, for everyone who joined, for Dr. Hezron, who took his time to help us to understand what he's doing and how this can benefit us. We are asking for your mercy for our lives. We're asking for mercy for our families. We ask for grace that only comes from you to help us in very difficult times, to help us in being open and willing to learn new things, to challenge ourselves, to become better. not just only for ourselves, but also for our families, and also to live lives that glorify you. We hope that this session was beneficial to someone, and it will be a point where it will help to change their lives. Be with us as we go, guide us and protect us. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
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 So thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, Marilyn. I don't know whether there's anybody who has a question before we close down. For those who joined late, Grace Wagura, Kate, Mrs. Kehara, I hope we are good to go and that you don't have any question.
Yeah, because you came back. So for kids, sorry, I missed that part. You're talking about the coding. I enrolled my kids into a coding class, but then we didn't do it because my
Hello.
schedule is so all over the place. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so for the coding classes, I mean, they start school in August. So if you're studying the whole program in August, it may be a little too much for them they're going into new grades. And then for them to be taking something, it may be a little too much. Are you doing like a continuous enrollment, or are you just doing one enrollment and then that's about it? Or are you doing them in like quarterly basis, a couple months? Or what is the enrollment like? If you don't mind, just briefly.
So thank you very much for that question. So like Dr. James has mentioned, we have to prepare these kids for the world of tomorrow. And the world of tomorrow will be full of robotics, programming, and coding. So it's good for them to get exposed early enough. The way you're just getting them time to go to school and do the maths and the sciences as well, you also need to take this one now as a basic necessity as well. Right? So the good thing about our courses, they shall be taking them over the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, like for 2 hours per day. We don't want to overwhelm them, but it's something that they need, something that will help them in this world of tomorrow, this world of coding and robotics. So how we do it, for instance, we usually going in with models. Like now, for instance, we're going to start with fundamentals of programming, right? So that is what we are starting with. Once that kid gets exposed and, settles very well with programming, that's where now they will graduate to the next module of application development, and then to the last module of robotics. So we can't like give you duration and tell you that this module will take like 1 or 2 months. We can't tell you that. It depends with the kid. Right? Dealing with the kids is not as easy as dealing with grown-ups. So it requires time, it requires time. Sometimes that, like you said, your kid refused to do coding and robotics earlier on, right?
No, they didn't refuse, but my schedule was too tight, so I was not able to have them enroll at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, we usually bring along very, very experienced professors who are very good with dealing with kids to ensure that the kind of methodology that they are using to train these kids is making the kids to enjoy programming, right? And also the beauty about it is that you've heard that our sessions are taking place over the weekend. So it's very good to accommodate what the kids are doing in school very well. So you have a class starting end of the month. So please reach out to us. I've shared my number. I've shared our website link. Go ahead and register, and we shall give you more information on how to expose these kids to this world of robotics and coding.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question before we conclude, kindly? So feel free to kindly share your contacts, share your emails, share your phone numbers so that we can even share with you this live recording that was done by Dr. James. So I think we can kindly close this session tonight, and we shall kindly communicate on when we shall be holding another data science session. Thank you so much for your time.